Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I'm going to do some readings on some of the bigger races that are going on. I'm going to look at the governor's race in the great state of Texas. That would be the race between Beto O'Rourke, our favorite skateboarding liberal, wants to go out and talk to all the people in Texas, and there are a lot of them. Beto O'Rourke versus the guy in the chair, Greg Abbott, who has made Texas the killing field for, this is for entertainment purposes only. That has Texas, where you can shoot up children, you can store explosive things in your yard and destroy half a city because there are no laws on things like toxic chemicals and explosive things, where you can have your own grid that fails. Texas under Greg Abbott, but it's it's Texas. It's independent. It doesn't want to be told what to do, even if what it's doing is ridiculous and hurting people. So how do I really feel about it? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Well, let's take a look, because Beto has an uphill battle, believe it or not. And, you from where I stand, it's like, well, why wouldn't somebody vote for Beto? It makes more sense. But, a lot of people vote out of habit or vote out of loyalty to a certain, perspective. As to whether the people who are saying they're doing what the people want, or abiding by that perspective, is another question. So low information voting. And then we always have to take into consideration that a lot of these people only sense of like what's going on in the world is seen through the eyes of Fox News. We have to remember that these people are maybe not getting the whole story, but we'll see. What is it going to look like? How's Beto going to do? So this is a reading for will Beto win the governorship of Texas. We are starting with power. We're starting with power. Now, is this Beto's power, or is this the power structures with the deep moat around them? So he's up against some pretty powerful characters. Let's see the challenge. The Five of Cups, disappointment. Not to get discouraged by the amount of power that Beto is railing against. Don't get discouraged. There's also the energy of the Five of Cups is mainly in other decks, deals with actually, this says to me a lack of compassion, power with a lack of compassion. That's what he's facing. But in the other decks, there's 2 cups that are filled and 3 cups that are spilled. And so even though there's disappointment, there's the promise of another opportunity. And this could very well be the opportunity he's taken. Now, this is the second time he's run. Is it the second time he's run for governor? Did he run again Abbott the last time? No, he ran for Ted Cruz's Senate seat. Maybe that was the last thing he ran for. And that, I believe, he was cheated out of. But, that's my own opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. Take it or leave it. What's at the root? Dominion, the two of wands. At the core of it is really who has the power. Now, the 2 is a balance of power. So at the core of it, there needs to be a balance of power. I don't know if that there is. Let's see what's in the past. The 4 of the Four of Wands, this is the winning card, right? The Democrats win. Didn't I just say he won his last election, but he didn't get in? Sorry. What's in the sky? The end of a cycle and the beginning of a new. Well, that's good for Beto, because he's certainly not the old cycle, is he? Let's see what's in the immediate future. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles. He needs to be very careful with his physical body right now. There's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake with this shifting of power. And those people at the front lines are in danger, no matter what front line you're on, right? Whether it's governor in Texas or governor in Michigan, or Lula da Silva down in Brazil, right? Zelensky in the Ukraine. These are the people at the front lines, and it's a dangerous place to be at this time. So they need all the light that we can offer. We can offer. So this is loss. This is physical loss. Does that mean he's going to lose? Let's keep looking. It's possible, but let's continue. We'll get to the outcome and see. Will he win? How it's seen from outside, the Eight of Wands, lots of information coming out. Lots of information. Lots of information. Domestic situation, the Judgment card, Aeon, an awakening. So he's going through an awakening process. This is a Pluto card. This is, people rising up from the dead, going into spirit. So again, I'd have to say Beto needs to be extraordinarily careful. The awakening can be a spiritual awakening, but of course, it can also be a transition of sorts. So let's keep Beto in a big ball of protective light. Hopes and fears, I would say this is probably a fear defeat. Defeat because of abuse of power. That's, I think, what we're all fearing here. But Beto feels it for sure. Let's see the outcome. Oppression. Justice. And valor. I picked 3, even though I could have stopped at justice. They're suppressing the vote. They're suppressing the vote. There can be a runoff or some legal entity that's going to make the decision. And being brave through that period is going to benefit. Being brave through that period is going to benefit. Let's see what's underneath. Okay, the High Priestess. There's information we're not privy to yet. Maybe that's what this card's about. There's information coming out. Strength. This is the valiant warriors with all the rods behind him, holding on to that last rod with the boo-boo on his head, saying, I am a vigilant soldier and I am going to keep my boundaries. The strength of boundaries, the strength of standing in the truth. And the Six of Cups. So this is what I feel. I feel like they're going to say he didn't win. Well, I think Abbott's going to say, I won, because whether they win or not, that's what they say. That's the Republican way. But I think they're going to have to look at either some incidents or things that are happening or things that happened or irregularities, and they're going to take it to the courts. Now, as to what the decision is going to be, seems to be victory, but victory after taking it to justice. So I'm going to go out on a limb. What's the difference, right? I'm all about, to a certain extent, being willing to say, not just because it's what people want to hear, but it's because of what I see. I think that it's going to be very close, and they're going to have to take it to court. And they're going to realize that there was a suppression or oppression of the votes, and that one of the things that I think is important that has sort of popped into my head a couple of days ago and then repeats itself. So when you have the repeating things in your head, that's the stuff you're probably supposed to be, unless you have that problem, that's what you're supposed to be listening to. And it's interesting because they talk about, these election deniers. And the Republicans don't really have any plans of saying they lost, even when it's ridiculous and they know they lost, right? But what the Democrats have to be careful of, I think, is not to concede too fast. Even though they may seem like, oh, you're election deniers too. You don't believe in the election. You don't trust it. They need to stand vigilant because there's a lot of shenanigans going on. A lot of shenanigans, and they're trying everything. They're throwing the kitchen sink at this. And this is, if the insurrection was part one, this is going to be part two. And then 2024, most likely going to be part three. So we have to be prepared. We have to be willing to, maybe on a certain level, ask the same questions they're asking. But from a different intention, for the intention of finding the truth. The Democrats are notorious for acquiescing too quickly. Do not acquiesce, Democrats. Don't believe that you can't win just because you haven't won in a really long time. Believe in your power. Okay. Beto's winning, but not without having to go to the courts, I think. That's my take. That's what I'm saying. I guess I should pull on the guy in the chair. I'm just going to pull 3 cards, maybe 5 cards on Greg Abbott. We have abundance, the 3 of Cups, that's friends. That's drinking buddies, got some drinking buddies. The 3 of Wands, both 3s are located in Bina on the Tree of Life. Bina is the dark night of the soul. So this looks like good for him, but maybe not. Let's continue. The Prince of Swords. The Prince of Swords is the King of Swords in this deck, and while the King of Swords in the energy of like the Rider-Waite deck and those, it seems to be somebody who uses his good judgment, somebody who's ready to go to take on the hard questions, right? Justice, legal matters, the letter of the law, draw a line in the sand. But this one is much more usury. In my estimation, his chariot is being pulled by men that don't look like they're in particularly happy positions, really struggling. So this is somebody who takes advantage of others. And it's funny that he's like on a chariot because the guy. So it's not him. He's being pulled along by others. the Lover's Choice card. So there's two sides to him. Oops. Sorry. One more. Greg Abbott. Show me Greg Abbott. And the Prince of Discs. So we have the Prince of Swords and the Prince of Discs. This is money. This is, he's got, you know, he's doing the work for the moneyed, you know, interests, energy, probably, mostly energy interests in Texas. Maybe not wanting to change to renewables in Texas, but Texas is flat and windy. I mean, they could do wind energy big time in Texas. So it's just a matter of, you know, getting the old people out and getting some new people in that respect. But the thing with Abbott is he has all the backing of the financial and the and probably the energy money and dark money. We have to remember that we have all this dark money out there, and some of it we know where it comes from, like Vance and who's the guy that's backing Vance? I think he's like a tech guy, big tech guy. You know, Pluto's moving into Aquarius, and so the power is going to shift from the mining stuff, which is Capricorn, to information, which is Aquarius, right? So the big players are going to be the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos and these sort of super rich. They have all this money because nothing is being because it's so ahead of its time in its way that we haven't caught up with things to sort of like hold it back, although that's going to continue. More and more things are going to hold those people back so everybody can benefit, not just those guys, right? They have to, you know, it has to, pardon the expression, trickle down to us at some point, right? So hopefully we can figure that out before they're off to Mars, right? Well, maybe that'll be helpful to us. I don't go to Mars. That's what I say. Go, leave, go to Mars. All right, so that's what I see for Beto. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. You can give me a thumbs up. If you want to be a patron of mine, I do have a Patreon channel now. I think I have 8 patrons. Hi, everybody. Thank you for patronizing me. I think that's good, right? For being a patron. And yeah, so I got a special thing on there on Trump, the devil's in the details, the making of the monster that is Trump. I looked at his relationship with his dad. I've looked at his relationship with Norman Vincent Peale, and the next episode I'll be looking at his relationship with Roy Cohn. Where's my Roy Cohn? I think that was the first thing he said when he walked into the White House. So I think he got Bill Barr. That's a good relationship to look at. He got Bill Barr, so he got his yes man, but he didn't get his Roy Cohn. So luckily, but we'll see what happens. Okay, guys, take care. Much love, and let's give Beto. Let's give everybody involved, not just Beto, but even Abbott. You know, the light shines on everybody, and perhaps the light on Abbott will help him see his place in this and what he's actually doing to what end, right? To what end? All right. Take care, everyone. Namaste.